going out to all the upstarts, rabble-rousers, change-makers, and those who are just here for a revolution. You are tuned in to WNLR Neon Lights Roleplay for another episode of The World Within You, our bass-boosted, spray-paint-splattered take on Voidheart Symphony by Minerva McJanda. For the next few hours, we will flip like shadows between urban playgrounds and nightmare mindscapes contained within, well, any major city in North America. If you enjoy Persona, Psychonauts, or seeing the wicked bend before the uncompromising ideals of the young, superglue that dial right where it is. Before the main event, though, be aware Voidheart Symphony and the story that we are about to tell will be one that meditates on the very real evils, great and small, that people subject each other to. While our players have safety tools in place and a mic in the booth, if you're catching our show across the airwaves, know ahead of time that we might touch on difficult topics. Listener discretion is advised. If you ever feel uncomfortable, you can always cut the feed and jam to something that soothes your soul, hopefully rejoining us and our renegades a little bit later. For this episode in specific, we may cover the following topics: school and learning environments, family conflict, absent parents, being a child to parents who immigrated, digital bullying, and self-loathing. Now, of course, I have prattled on long enough, and we have a digital studio absolutely bursting with talent. So let's flip over to them, starting, of course, with Lan the Dan.
Why do I have to go first?
Because I love to ruin your day.
Well, joke's on you. My day's already ruined.
Oh,
hey. I'm Lan the Dan. I play Scott Reiser. He is our musically talented watcher of the group, who is just over the moon about having his guitar fixed in the last session, and discovering a shared love of bands from previous decades with the father of one of our other characters, who will probably introduce themselves shortly.
Yeah, let's slide over there next. Leona, please take it away.
Oh, that's me. Hi, my name is Leona. Today I am playing Neela, our friendly neighborhood magical girl, who has washed up rocker dad. It's pretty cute, actually.
Hell yeah. And finally, of course, we're going to flip on down to Michelle.
Hey, it's me, Michelle, and today I'll be playing your friendly neighborhood cat. Feral cat? Cat! We are a cat. And we're playing Cat Sushi. Sushi is a he, him today, so please respect those pronouns. Otherwise, he's currently a little bit in distress with Jordan. We're fine. Everything's fine. Probably.
Yeah. Sushi, would you go ahead and give everybody an update on what happened moments before this moment?
So, Sushi and Jordan had hopped into the weird Banksy knockoff painting tag, dragged into this weird knot castle place. We got confronted, we got our asses kicked, we ran the heck out of there into Sushi's favorite napping spot, which kinda was taken over by Horace, and Horace ain't currently happy about that. Yeah, it's all good.
I think Horace would also take issue with the term taken over. This, of course, was always Horace's domain. And as we pan back in on that surreal sort of dreamscape, let's switch our music just a tad. Oh my gosh. There we go. That'll do. So, you are in that floating space between spaces. A place made of the same stuff as the non-castle extra-dimensional space that you all refer to as the station. In the same way that colors taste here and sounds leave vibrations on your skin, this is a place that your mind, well, Jordan's mind, really, cannot fully comprehend. Sushi, how well are you able to handle the extra dimensions being piled into your senses? What does this place feel like to somebody who's not mostly born of another dimension?
It's a bit like coming home, really. Sort of, well, I guess not really exactly what home is, since a cat doesn't really know what home is. Sushi didn't really know what home was until Neela gave him one. So it's more of a, this is familiar hunting grounds. This is a place where I know where I am. I know where I am, and that's really all I need to know. And I know where I can find other places and other people.
Given that you know where you can find other places and other people, you sense several presences moving through this space. One of them, of course, being its self-appointed guardian, the bird-like entity known as Horus. And that's Horace, or is that Horus?
That's what I want to know.
You know, that's a good question. I think, I was thinking originally Horus, but I'm fine with Horace.
What does Horus prefer?
Or both.
Yes.
I think that's the answer. It's just both.
As long as it sounds right. Yeah. You feel the approach, and Jordan is kind of sitting up, looking around like, hey, Sushi, I really appreciate you getting us out of there, but where are we now?
I think Sushi folds their paws, almost like Sphinx-like, with their tail flipping through the air, and just, so remember that project I was talking to you about? And Sushi pulls out, the yarnfish. It's,
Ugh.
and it actually looks quite a bit different. It's no longer just a wire skeleton with yarn, but, it's glowing, sort of, with its own internal light. In fact, it almost looks like it could come to life with just a little bit of a push if you poked it.
Jordan, like, kind of reacts as you pull it out of, presumably, somewhere that is not anywhere. And I didn't know you had that with you. Look, as much as I like meeting the people who live out here, I think we should maybe go away. And Jordan is finishing that sentence while looking directly at Horace, who is coming to you on long, kind of crane-like legs. Horace is bird-like, but that's by way of, like, closest comparison. Horace has a long body with feathers that range from, like, white and soft and downy to this deep, like, light-eating black, and iridescing between those two poles. The white down, feeling like it almost produces light, the way that the dark feathers devour it. It's almost as if somebody paints an oil slick of on top of grayed feathers in between the two. Horus has numerous eyes, all different colored, different sized, some in places that you would expect, some underneath wing, some at the edges of knuckles and the backs of hands. This is a bird with hands. This is a bird that has hands. And Horus approaches and folds its legs very gingerly, the way that long-legged birds do when they come down, potentially to nest. You've come back, little cat. You do not have permission to tread here, nor does your simple companion.
And then Sushi flicks an ear, tail flicking behind a little bit nervously as he... Well, we needed a place of respite, and we had just traveled from, well, it was...
Oh, I know where you came from. We all know where you came from. I know your type loves to walk will-he, nil-he between all the places that they can reach, but you pulling him through puts us on somebody's radar. We don't want to be there.
Okay, I know it wasn't the greatest idea, but it's the only place I could think of in a hurry. It's this place is safe. You keep it safe. And
there's a ruffle of pride as you say that.
Sushi sort of, like, you can see, like, Haunch's sigh as, like, just, like, ears flatten and, like, fur goes a little bit limp, as, Sushi sort of, like, bats at their sort of their fish offerings, like, look, I was working on something and I wanted to come by a little bit later when it was finished, but, and, like, Sushi's, like, netting a little bit at the ground as, their little fish sculpture is looking about ready to start flopping a little bit. It's not quite there yet, and it's like, I mean, it's not done yet, but...
Horus examines it intensely. Sushi, tell me 3 things that you were thinking about as you made this fish.
So Sushi didn't really understand the reason why they were sort of kicked out of their favorite napping spot the first time, but after thinking about it, I think what Sushi came to the conclusion is that this is Horus's territory, and Sushi had been sort of napping on their claimed grounds, and I think it's a lot of it is an apology. Like, that's sort of like, hey, like, I invaded your space, and that was my bad, and I really shouldn't have done that. That's like the first one that, first, like, big thought. Another thought is that, well, Sushi just really thinks that the napping place, like, this place is very safe. It's very great. It's got, like, the best sunlight. It is the most comfortable to lay down for, like, a good 12 hours and just do nothing, listen to the wind, listen to what's going on. And that's the second big thing that's really going through Sushi's head. They're thinking about, hey, this is like this is my favorite napping spot. But then also, this isn't really my territory. I'm sorry for being here, and also, hey, the last one is.
What is something personal that you were thinking about?
Yeah, I think personal, Sushi is thinking about, like, hey, and I guess this is sort of like that sort of selfishness of a cat that's sort of like, hey, I wander where I go, right? I am a free cat, and I do what I want, but I'm realizing that I'm a little bit willing to let things be if necessary. But I'm still gonna, but I'm still a free being, and I can go where I want to. And I think that's fair. You have free reign of the skies, I have free reign of the ground. I am a cat, that's what I do.
Okay. So Horace is examining this offering. And begins to pick at one of this fish is like halfway between existing as a fish and existing as a sculpture made of wire and yarn. And Horace finds one of the loose threads and starts pulling at it. And grabs onto the wires and starts pulling those out. And what's left is an outline, the shape, the volume, spectrally, of a fish. And Horace, as these parts are pulled away, you and Jordan both feel those thoughts that you were having as you built the effigy. Horace eats those things, like the unnecessary parts for the fish's existence. And as they do, they kind of... Birds don't chew, but Horace does. Chews, and then breathes out. You're looking at me like maybe birds do chew. I'm pretty sure birds have like a little sack of stones in their insides. And instead of chewing, they use those rocks inside of them to like grind things up. Where's Heck when you need her? Bird facts. Bird rock facts. Anyway, that process happens, and when Horace finishes and exhales, the fish changes. Takes on a flatter form. It grows whiskers. It is as close as you can imagine to a catfish as it can get. And then it grows little paws as well on its front legs, or on its front fins. And it kind of waddles off. And you know in that moment that now there are hundreds and thousands of these all across this domain. It is a beginning, says Horace.
Sushi looks at the catfish, looks at Horace. Two new beginnings then? It's like, that was impressive. Is impressive the, like stage whispers to Jordan, is impressive the right word here? Like, what is this feeling? That was...
I feel nauseated in a way that I cannot express in words.
It's like, meanwhile, Sushi has like the big dinner plates, is like, That's really cool. I can go eat, like, it's like, can I eat those fish? It's like walking, talking fish.
If that's what you're thinking, Horace is immediately like, don't you dare.
It's like, and it's like, oh, it's like, sushi.
And it's the thing of like, if you like got in pounce mode, it's like one of the claws from Horace's foot just like lays over you. You know when you like grab a cat by the scruff and you kind of pin them in place so they can't do something naughty? Or so you can give them their medicine?
Yep.
It's one of those. That's the move.
And it's like sushi's literally
like
wiggling.
Butt wiggle.
Yeah, doing that butt wiggle, and there's like the tails floating. It's like, okay. I did put a lot of work into that, and you also put a lot of work into that, so it would...
This is not a hunting ground. If it's going to be safe for you, it is going to be safe for everyone.
Can I go back to napping here then? Naps are fine, right?
Consider yourself on a trial period.
Sushi's like, alright, great! He doesn't look
Go before somebody comes through and decides to link you up to a chariot or something.
Sushi like literally blows up in size and is like, I can do that.
You won't like where it takes you.
Right. Sushi like picks up a... I'm assuming Jordan is extremely nauseous looking right now and kind of green.
Mortal eyes are not meant to see the manifold folds and edges and corners and sight smells of creation. So, the sooner you get Jordan out of here, probably the better for his,
Right. Sushi's gonna just put Jordan back on his back again, and like with a flick of the tail, just go. Thanks. I'll see you later, and pounce away.
Yeah. And the space kind of fades and closes behind you as you emerge. I'm gonna say for you, you emerge at the hideout. The kind of like otherworldly taste of that other place leaving you. Whoa! I don't feel so good. What was not that one, but the one before? Where we couldn't see anything. Was that? Did that happen to Quentin?
Maybe. I don't know.
Whatever that was, they know, we know about them now. We should let the others know.
Right, but you should probably take a nap first. And like Sushi's gonna like sit down on Jordan and like force him like you know the one where the cat like sits in your lap and basically says, okay, it is sit down time, you are not moving.
Yeah, the whole like, not like, but like claws out, hand on the face whenever he tries to get up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, Jordan takes a pretty significant nap, ends up late to school, but you know, things happen when you're functionally a superhero. And with that ends. That was one of Jordan's actions, right? Right?
Yeah, we ended with I think he was confronting
Why not?
I believe it was. That was the
He
confrontation move.
Yeah, he confronted Quinn.
Cool. So, now that that's done, I'm trying to remember who still had actions to go. Was it everybody? Was Tate our last person last time?
I believe so.
Okay. So then, I return it to the three of you. You each have one more scene that you can do as a city or everyday action. An everyday action or a rebel action. What are y'all going to get up to with the time you still have left?
I'm double checking my notes. Give me a sec.
Totally fine. Realizing that the sheet that I normally track how far you all are on, it's not where I thought it was on my desk. So I'm going to have to find that at some point.
Did you set it on fire by accident?
It's certainly possible.
I kind of have an idea, although there might be like, is this like immediate or is this like?
You can always think of
or...
you can always think of this as like fungible in time. However much time we need before y'all actually finish this, as long as you don't go over the number of ticks on the investigation gauge, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I believe you're at like 2 ticks so far.
Right.
Out of 6 times 3.
6 ticks. In that case, I have an idea. Since Jordan has now put himself on Quinn's radar, and we can expect some kind of retaliation. I think I will go and hang out with Danny at the bar because I have a hangout move where when you spend time with a Covenant of the Justice Arcana, which Danny is, you can either help them talk through the details of their current case or sit in on a meeting with community members. Since we have since I talked Danny into starting the support group for other people who have been on the receiving end of Quinn's, who Quinn has made famous, I think that might be a good way to learn about either the Vassal's current activities, a new contact who needs help, or potentially a threat to another rebel's role. Which seems like someone might be having their role threatened after the way that last scene just played out.
Yeah. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so your meeting is this meeting happening at the bar, or is it just happening in a community space, kind of like nearby, like in a public library or something?
I think if Danny was one of the main people putting this together, and he knew that it was in part somewhere from in partly to mostly affecting kids who would have been around Quinn's age, he would probably have it in a community center rather than his own.
Okay. Yeah. I guess this is bringing up then a secondary question: what is that community center? Is it a library? Is it a public like works building? Because I know in my area there's like a couple of buildings that are just like purely for public use. Park, things like that. What are we looking at? Paint that part of the scene for us real quick.
I think we are looking at the Etteridge City Public Library, which has a few different floors, and in one of those floors there is a space that people can hold gatherings of various kinds. Usually they're for educational purposes, but some community groups do hold meetings there sometimes. There are some tables and chairs provided, with enough seating for the members of this group, as well as a projector if anyone needs it, but it's that doesn't necessarily have to come into play.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you show up to this meeting, and there's like a pretty significant number of people, and I think one of the things that like potentially surprises you is that it is not just a kid, but it is also the like parents, sometimes siblings, sometimes friend groups have come out in support of individuals. And so what ends up happening is there's like groups of clusters of chairs where there's like one person kind of in the center of this circle that was set up in one of the meeting rooms, and then like people behind them either in chairs or standing, all of whom are like earnestly talking about their experiences with the effects of Quentin's videos. Do you get there early? Are you there like helping Danny set up? What is your role in this scene?
I think I would get there and help him set up.
Okay.
So I don't know how active of a role I would play in the actual meeting.
Well, I think your playbook tells us a lot. You're the Watcher. Is that the name of it? The Watcher?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, you're the Watcher, so you're there observing, and I imagine also potentially taking notes.
Yeah.
Kind of playing secretary as Danny facilitates this meeting. And he is kind of collecting stories. He's asking people like, okay, what happened? And you're helping him build out like patterns, basically. And so eventually, one of the people who is talking is saying like, well, I tried to confront him about this, and he got me fired from my job because he basically stalked me with a camera without my knowing. And it was stupid, but like, you know how you don't always look when you're crossing the street, or you cross in the middle of an intersection, or like you litter? He just found tons of small things and just kept badgering my the juice stand that I work at about all this stupid little inane stuff, basically painting me like a criminal and saying like, hey, you can't work here and until they let me go. And I don't know. And so basically what you suss out is that like Quentin, when he wants to be, can be vindictive and really malicious, and also can make it seem like there are a lot of people upset with one person when it's really just him. probably through like a combination of like bots and stuff like that. So what that looks like is specifically the two people that you know who have had like personal dealings with Quentin are Jovan and Jordan. For Jordan, what that would mean is that he would, mechanically this time, he would probably end up being, if the castle has too much attention on him, he is going to switch from being the role that he is now to having his black mark in infamy, basically losing status. And for Jovan, what that potentially means is he will complicate Jovan's life enough that he is so tied up in the like bureaucracy of like care in the state that he can't help you all with your investigations anymore. Does that make sense? We're doing this at kind of a high level.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Who is there that you don't expect to see? If you said something, you are muted.
I mean, the only people I would know who would be there would be Danny and let me find her name on the chart.
Are you talking about the gal that you all met the other night?
Yes. Her name Alice? Leslie.
Leslie.
Alice. So, like, anyone besides them, I don't have particularly high expectations of seeing, but it's like, I don't know who Scott would even recognize.
Let's make it.
Kayla also shows up.
I don't think it's Kayla. I'm kind of looking around the map for a likely suspect. That's definitely not Van de Sky. Petra Jones. Petra's here. And you know Petra because you've been hanging out with Jovan long enough that you've bumped into him and Petra, or maybe like he's invited her along to like go to the movies with y'all at some point. And Petra is there as much as anything, asking if anybody is like looking around the room, like listening to these stories, and then after the meeting comes over and is like, "Hey, it's oh gosh, it's Scott, right? Scott?
Petra?
Yeah. Have you seen Jovan lately?"
Not lately. Last I saw, he was dealing with some stuff at home. Why?
I just haven't seen him at school or in any of the places that we normally hang out recently, and this just got me worried, I guess. He I don't know. I know that you all get up to some, and she kind of looks around the room, and it's still pretty full. Extracurriculars, and did he get like picked up by the cops?
They didn't look like cops to me. I don't think it's because of that.
But he got picked up by somebody?
It sounded like it might have been like a family services type deal.
Oh, shit.
I feel like you might know more about it than us. Has he said anything to you?
Radio silence. Joe's great, but he plays a lot of stuff close to the chest. Okay.
Sounds like it.
Thanks for letting me know. If you hear anything else, can you just get in touch?
Of course.
And not for nothing. I can help out. I'm used to running around the neighborhood putting up signs and stuff. So if y'all are having another meeting later, I can absolutely, do my thing, signal boost, if that would help.
I think it would. You should talk to Danny about that. He's kind of the organizer. He's the one that people know, And
Okay.
he's been the one putting this all together.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Can I ask you a question though?
Yeah.
What are
She
you
kind of
doing?
pivots on one foot. I didn't want to talk about it, but one of my friends was having a rough time, and Quentin kind of made it worse. I thought she might be here, but and we'll look across the room at Leslie, and then be like, but I guess she didn't make it. So anyway,
Well,
I'll see you around. Wait,
Same
did
to
you
you.
have something more that you wanted to say? Please go on. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, well, I'll let the others know. We'll keep an eye out for her.
Okay. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's another chunk of the bar filled. Awesome. Do you have any other specific questions you want answered from this?
Let's see. As far as things that I can get using this move, take me a moment because my computer's very slow. Computer. I guess, does anyone know anything about what he's up to now? What Quentin's up to? I mean, we kind of know, but anything that would be new information or...
Yeah. Somebody says that he's been around, and it seems like he's doing his new information. It seems like he might be doing the same sort of thing that he did to other people and then to Jovan, and he is probably now camera stalking Jordan. That is, I think, the biggest new piece of information there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Okay. In that case,
Should I?
let's switch gears. No, I think that's the whole of the move.
Okay.
So, Neela, Sushi,
Yeah.
who wants the next go?
Joe, I have a question for you because I was looking at all of the moves. Actually, question and a half. Just to confirm, shadow moves can't be used outside of the castle, right?
Shadow moves from your playbook, I believe, can only be used inside the castle, but I think
That's what I thought.
you can vent.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, that's what I thought. Just confirming. So my thinking, because none of the like castle moves quite work for this, but I was thinking like if Sushi tells Neela about like the weird like no defined walls place that they went, that maybe that's like a rebelize type moment to like investigate.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no real like castle move that would work, but like,
Yeah, no. What
Rebelize.
you want to do is you want to investigate.
yeah,
Yeah. So that would qualify as pursuing a particular goal in the city,
ooh, okay,
which is a rebel action, which I don't think
Yeah.
you've taken yet.
yeah. Is that a different page? So it's not.
It's in the investigation. It like doesn't have its own move because it is directed by you. You tell me
I
what
see.
you're up to, and then we play role playing scenes kind of like you do when you're in the castle, but you're in the city.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So that would be So that's kind of my thought. I'm not quite sure what Sushi's thoughts are, but that's what I've got to offer.
I think Sushi's willing to accompany you. I mean, last time, Jordan and Sushi kind of almost didn't really make it out okay, so I think Sushi's gonna be just going to, like, once again cat scarf on Neela this time, and just, hey, let's be a little careful. That was, I don't like feeling like prey.
Oh, I plan to not draw attention. We're just gonna be real quiet, take a little peek around, see what we can figure out. That's all.
Sushi's just gonna like rub a cheek against you and just mention like those paintings look a bit like they're always watching us though. I'm not sure if how well we can escape notice.
Okay. Fair point. We'll be careful. Let me see if I can get creative. As I quickly look at my sheet. I don't know if I necessarily have anything, but I'm gonna look and see.
If you have anything for which,
Like something that would help us like go slightly more undetected, but I don't think I do.
yeah. So when you're looking for information in the city, you would be doing at least to open up. It would be rebelize,
Okay.
and then I have the opportunity to make your life a little bit difficult. But that's a check against heat, wherever that may be standing for you.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. All right, Sushi. Are we ready to do this then?
Well, let's go.
All right.
So, what does that look like? You're looking for information, and what about?
Well, this is about the weird place that Sushi and Jordan went to. So I guess the best place to start is kind of around wherever Sushi and Jordan fell into it, right? Because like, how did y'all get through?
That was over by Quentin, the clown person's
Yeah.
place.
All right. Well, and you see like Neela like puts her hood up a little bit, like, you know, just put the hood up and like keep herself in a low key profile, and she will kind of head around that way and like start poking around. She'll be like, "Did you like go through a poster or a wall or?"
I believe. Let me see.
Let me consult with my memory.
Let me consult my notes from previously. Okay. So
I know you guys were chasing the like white paint dude. I think was out
Yeah.
of character.
I mean, it was like a tag with like, you know, black and white paint roller looking disappointed in our direction. It was like somewhere. I think it was across the street. It was on like a wall. I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Yes.
we noticed it when we finished the confrontation.
Is it still there?
Okay. So, let's start with that. There is a painting there. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's still there.
It is still. Well, here's the thing. Every time one of these paintings shows up, Palecoat is like world famous as an artist. So like even the most innocuous, non-political things that are put up are suddenly there's like lots of people paying attention to them. So this one went up very, very recently, and today when you come by, there's like a crowd of people, you know, not a throng, maybe not even quite a crowd, but like people are stopping, taking a photo, and like doing like a little pose next to it for the Insta.
Fair. Damn.
You can still investigate it, but that's just the reality of what's going on here.
But I can't add to it.
Good and lucky for you that Palecoat's work is all over the city. Kind of like finding like Blake Lorat in Paris or Banksy in London. Like, there's plenty of it.
My first thought was that like Neela was gonna like draw a box around it and be like as if she's trying to create colorful like walls almost. Kind of be like, who are you? But that might be a little too spicy, especially if there are people watching.
Interesting, yeah.
I don't know. It's like half investigating, half like, because she doesn't necessarily want to like step through, because that's dangerous, but she wants to like poke around and like figure things out.
So I have a question.
Go for it.
Sushi had sort of memorized Palecoat's smell from the last time they encountered him. Can Sushi track that down in the city and lead Neela to it? Or at least the most recent fresh scent?
So what you're saying is you want to like look around and find the most recent tag?
Right. The most, yeah. I mean, like, obviously there's one that's already, like, you know, being crowded on, but is there one that's not? Is there a different scent pack?
Yeah, so one of them, one of the most recent ones, because it's being updated slowly every day somehow, is the billboard one that is slowly re-revealing that QR code. That one is very strong smelling. But it's also being watched. You're pretty confident.
I could put walls around him and stop him or something, but no, there's too many people watching.
And there are dozens of tags around the city, and they're all, none of them are fresher, is how I'll put it. And even as you move between these spaces, you never really smell it coming off of a person, only ever off of that place.
Only off of the tag.
Yeah, only off the tags.
That's weird.
And when I say that place, I mean the tags and the space that you know is accessible beyond.
Right.
What are you trying to learn, the both of you?
I think for me, I'm trying to learn more about the identity of Coca and what this place is that Sushi and Jordan ended up in.
Pick one of those to learn.
I would like to learn more about the place.
Okay. Go ahead and check against heat. Because I think by going and visiting a bunch of these tags, you can kind of start to get an idea of how to figure out that information.
As a weak hit.
A weak hit, okay. You know that you're being watched.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, these are spicy.
This is all very spicy.
Somebody is going to find out what your true affiliations are.
Damn.
Yeah. I'll leave that up in the air because I know what that means.
I don't know.
On the
what
other
that
hand,
means.
I can tell you how you can get that information. Okay. You can get that information, but you're going to have to put yourself in some degree of danger.
That is fair.
Do you wanna go ahead and do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's I think this is what I want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels right. So I would like one of you two to vent so that you can enter this place.
I feel like,
Or at the very least, test your powers on it.
I mean, I guess because I'm putting myself in danger, I feel like that should be me.
Okay.
I feel like that should be me.
Okay.
And so I'm calling upon the Void's power in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's a check against fealty?
Check against fealty.
Yes.
All right.
On a weak hit, you're going to pick as many things as you picked effects. Are you sure you don't want to conceal your identity from all onlookers? Or perceive somebody, or shrug off things that might hurt you?
Oh, I see. I have to pick those first. Okay.
Yeah, before you roll.
I see. Okay, yes. I would like to conceal my identity from all onlookers. 2, I would like to perceive something beyond my senses.
Okay. Do you want to
What
shrug
is
off
my-
anything that might hurt you?
No, I can take it. Wait. My playbook's unique vent move. Give someone a day freed from a wound, illness, or affliction.
It doesn't feel necessarily applicable right now,
Yeah,
but
so I was like,
that's a thing to keep in mind.
Really, A, that's really cool. B, I don't think we know anyone right now who has a wound, illness, or affliction. So
I mean, you're all wounded on some level, I imagine.
God. That's
Cool. So it's just the 2 then.
I think just the 2. Okay.
Okay. Check against fealty, please.
All right.
Strong
Strong
hit.
hit.
Nice. Okay. So, you're in the middle of a kind of crowded area, and just around a corner on a main thoroughfare, there is like an earlier mural. This is one of the ones that nobody really comes by anymore unless there's like a tourist bus coming by. So it's relatively safe to like practice on.
Mhm.
And as you kind of reach out and perceive things, you learn the nature of what you're looking at here. It is very, very similar to what you and your friends can do when you make a portal. But the nature of the portal is different. This is a portal that turns inward. I'm trying to think of how that would feel different from yours. Whereas like when you all make this painting together, you picture a place that exists inside the minds and inside the kind of psychodramas of your targets. This one is envisioning a place that they hold some kind of stock in. You can feel at the edges of the piece, and it's in this case a painting of a riot. Riot's maybe the wrong word. Protest. There was a protest that happened in the city a long time ago, or long to you. And the closest allegory I'm going to draw is like the WTO protests in Seattle in the 90s. That kind of escalated to a violent level. This particular portrait is of, in that same style, like a figure on the ground getting hit with a riot shield, as another officer like comes forward with like a zip tie. This, as you kind of feel at the edges, whereas your art feels like it takes you very far very quickly, when you run your fingers over it, it's kind of like your fingertips can teleport a long distance. They feel like a magnetic pull. This feels more like if you push through, it is an invasion. It wants you not to be there, but it feels like it knows who is welcome and who isn't. So this thing feels both like a castle shard and like the portals that you are able to create.
Okay, interesting.
That said, as you investigate it, there is movement, basically. And something from the painting doesn't step out so much as duplicates itself into your presence. And you see, as this happens, a foot come out from one of the officers that is on this wall and starts to kind of jerkily move out of the wall into your space.
Hell no, no, no.
What are you doing? You two?
Can we fight it with paint? Like, can I paint something over this to push it back in?
You could try to fight this thing. You don't have any fighting moves in the real world, though.
Right. That's why I said fight it with paint. Like, I just want to spray paint over it and just be like, back to where you came from. Not today, Satan. I don't know if that's...
If you want to use, like, your magic in the city to, like, force it to stay in place...
Okay, so that's
that would be another vent.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Oh, crap.
We don't have any combat or hard moves.
You could absolutely fight this thing. You could let it escape into the world, or you can fight, you can run, or you can try to seal it. Those are your options.
My thought is to seal.
Can we try to talk to it?
Certainly.
What?
Oh, yeah. Why not?
I mean, it's a shadow, but it's not. Is it connected to the like? Is it still connected? Does it have to follow whatever this castle thing is? And I think
I think you, based on your nature as like a thing that exists in between two spaces, this thing smells like an enforcer.
ah.
So you can talk to it. It is a shadow. You can talk to it. You can do whatever you would normally do. Whatever this is not nice.
Yeah, okay, never mind then.
Yeah. Can we go card capture on its ass and seal it?
Okay. Yeah. What do you who's gonna make that vent roll?
I could try, but my fealty's pretty high.
I have a low fealty. I can do it.
Okay.
I can do it.
What bits are you using?
Okay. Let's conceal my identity.
Of your choice.
Yeah. Let's the con of strength I would have within the castle. What would that even look like? I'm not sure.
What gear do you have in the castle? What stuff would you normally use to fight this thing?
Oh, so like if I do that, I would have access to my glaive.
Yeah, potentially.
Right. That's really helpful.
I think
Okay,
there's
so
also
yeah,
a unique vent move per playbook, so...
Yeah.
Her vent move is not applicable here.
Not. I give someone a date from wounded.
The other thing that you could do with an ability you have in the castle, though, is if you have a castle move from your Arcanum, those could be relevant. Which ones do you have? You have like the Gardener?
Gardener, and that doesn't feel helpful. It's like an asking for advice thing. The lever gives me resolve to endure, and Alice, who is the chariot. Oh shit! Can I call on that if it's a minor arcana?
I don't think so.
Ah, damn!
Oh, wait, hold on. If it's minor?
Minor.
I think no.
Can you
I think the
call on
rule
your...
is no.
I have a question. Can she call on Sushi's Arcana?
Sushi could use Sushi's Arcana.
Because the Star Awakened. It's once per delve, but I guess we're allowed to use that.
Yeah.
We can pick a shadow move that from a playbook no one else is using, and use it.
Dang. I mean, if you want to,
You can't gain it this way again, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we can't gain it again, but if we can, you think we
no,
can?
it's okay. I feel okay. I also have a shadow move that's called Endlessly Resourceful. When I reach into my bags and pockets, I mark void to pull out something impossible, something too big, too dangerous on the other side of the world, or seemingly in your opponent's hands. So, I could do Conceal My Identity, call on the strength I have in the castle to use Endlessly Resourceful.
Okay. And what do you pull out?
I mean, if I do that, I guess I don't have access to the glaive. I'm trying to figure out, like, my focus is sealing magic.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm calling on something from the castle, I think. So that's two for...
I fully agree.
I don't think I necessarily need to perceive anything. If I can shrug off anything that would hurt me, I will... No, I'll stick with the 2, because I'm a chicken. I will stick with the 2.
I love it when people pick their consequences.
I'm a chicken!
Yeah, go ahead and roll against fealty. Check against fealty, rather.
Can I use one of the +2s? Because we've got a lot of +2s in chat.
It's treat it as advantage, not +2.
Okay, so how would I do that? Like, roll twice?
Roll a third die. There should be one for rolling advantage, right? Michelle, did you set that up?
There should be. Oh, whoops. Nope, there is nothing. And
There is nothing.
Yeah. Just roll another d6, I guess. Oh well, if I did, I would have gotten a weak hit, but roll
plus
another
1d6.
and take the highest 2.
That's a 3.
Does a 3 beat your 2?
Yeah, I think so, right?
So that's
6.
that's a hit. So that's 2 hits.
Does that work?
That's
That's a strong hit.
Okay. Stressful.
You would have done better than me.
Paint the scene for me.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you've got to pick a backlash for the last time you did this as well. You get 1 backlash each time you do this at minimum.
I thought you picked it by the shadow coming out of the thing.
No.
Okay.
You picked these, not me.
Oh, fair. Because it felt like it was kind of a combination of that or an object gains newfound smarts and malice.
No, this is something else.
Got you.
First, what happens? What does this look like?
All right. I think we see Neela kind of like be like, oh crap, like she's not a fan of this. She does not like this. And she kind of like closes her eyes and like kind of holds her hands out in front of her, and suddenly you see the glaive appear. And she kind of tries to use it almost like a magical wand to like cast sealing magic to start pushing this thing back in. She's like, I don't want you here, not in the real world, not right now, we're not doing this.
Yeah, it glows. Your like face is obscured in that magical girl way where like somebody puts on a tiara and you can't tell who they are anymore. Batman, but less convincing.
Yeah. Little tuxedo last moment, put some glasses on.
Yeah. You're like billowing as wind is rushing through this space that should not be there.
Yeah.
As you push it back in, the tip of your glaive kind of pressing on that shield.
Yeah.
And as soon as it is in, you take some spray paint off your belt and you just and you cross the whole thing out. And that bright that bright like marigold color is going from one edge to another edge. Sushi, that smell that you associate with that like void space is gone. And y'all are just back to the space being what it was.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, pick your consequences real quick.
Yeah. I feel like the departing shadow will hunt me on my next delve. For one.
Okay.
And I feel like a nearby animal or object gains newfound smarts and malice, because I'm really curious about that one.
Lovely. Okay.
And then like just in case, I feel like she like, looks around and like I know she's made a big X, but she like paints flower petals around the edges of the X to make it pretty. She's like, I gotta make it look nice at least. It doesn't look like I've been an absolute asshole.
Yeah. Doing that is like against everything that you believe in as somebody who does street art. But it was fucking necessary.
Yeah. So she's like, I might as well try to make it look decent. Oh god. And then she kind of like slumps over and she's like, oh god, Sushi. Why did I think that was a good idea?
Hey, Sushi. What sort of creature do you see departing?
Sushi sees. That's a good question. The shadow, right? I think
the shadow is going to basically change some what was the term? an animal or object. You could also pick an object.
You know, well, I mean, because originally I was thinking like, oh, like what if just the actual bricks themselves turned into flowers? Like, but
Okay.
yeah.
No, yeah.
Like little like urban jungle, but literal. It's also Neela's shadow, so I wouldn't be surprised if a false garden started to grow. In the
that'd
wake
be
of her
so
powers,
cool.
In the wake of her powers being vented.
God.
But
Yeah,
like,
it'd be cool. Cool is the word that we're gonna use.
I'm just
Cool.
saying, but like I'm imagining
Like,
like
cool,
the kind of
but,
like Venus
Mhm.
flytraps and like all of these like very like nightshade sort of flowers, like the bright, pretty but also venomous kinds. Like very
Yeah.
deadly, very poisonous.
Okay,
Beautiful.
cool. I think we're gonna call it for the first chunk of the show right there. As you two go to leave, but one like set of vines kind of starts to protrude
Oh.
from that spot on the wall.
Woohoo.
It'll be fine. I'm sure
That's
nothing.
fun.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's not like there's.
It's never bad. It's all good. Everything's
Yeah.
fine.
It'll be fine. They're only sentient.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Michelle, take us out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
Be right back.
We'll be back.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody. So, as always, our show is streaming in support of charity, and tonight I have the good fortune of throwing over to Leona to talk about tonight's charity with y'all.
Hey. Yeah, absolutely. This episode of The World Within You is dedicated to Disability Awareness Month. Join us in recognizing and uplifting the voices of our differently abled friends, family, and community members by fundraising for Invisible Disabilities Association, whose mission is to encourage, educate, and connect people and organizations touched by illness, pain, and disability around the globe. Mission with us, a world where people living with illness, pain, and disability will be invisible no more. And that's the Invisible Disabilities Association. If you can, please donate.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who donates to every single one of these charities. We really truly do believe that The World Within You is a show that believes in our ability as individuals to make change. So thank you, as always, for championing that with us. So, we left you on a huge cliffhanger, and we're gonna keep that going tonight because, as you can see, we are a little bit short-handed compared to usual. We are going to be changing gears slightly. We have this great big city that we all get to exist in together, and I am really excited to say that tonight we are going to spend some time exploring that city, Etteridge City, by playing... I'm sorry, did you say street magic? This is a game about world building, coming together and discovering neighborhoods, the landmarks within those neighborhoods, and the people who make up a city all together. And as we do that, we are going to see how events shape the nature of the city and the lives of the people living therein. So, to start that off, we have... Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted to do. That one. To start that off, we have 3 adjectives on this card right in the middle. We know that Etteridge City is sprawling, melodious, and hungry. Those words are going to inform all of our kind of decisions from this point forward. And our next sort of point of order is we are going to start by establishing different facets of the city, starting with a neighborhood. Would anybody like to go first and be our demo run of how this works?
I think I am more than happy to, since I did kind of volunteer a neighborhood already.
Hell yeah. Okay, so we are all going to start by wandering the city. We will start with you, Leona. You can explore a neighborhood, visit a landmark, or meet a resident, but since you are the first person to go, the only thing open to you is exploring a neighborhood.
That's okay.
I would love you to make a nice big card, pick a lovely color for its border, and put an N in the top left corner of that card.
Okay.
So that we know it's a neighborhood.
All right. Let me draw a shape. Give it like a.
Yeah, you gotta decide the important thing. What color are all neighborhoods going to be?
Oh, is this for all neighborhoods?
Yeah, all neighborhoods are gonna use that border color.
Oh shit. Okay, never mind. I was gonna make it orange because of which neighborhood it is. But
You could make it orange
I
anyway.
like orange. Orange is a
fine.
good color. Orange is a wonderful
Orange is
color.
good? Alright, it's orange. Boom.
Awesome.
Is that big enough?
But yeah, that's plenty big.
Okay.
Looks great. So,
And
put
you
the
know
letter
what?
N in the top left corner.
Alright, top left corner.
And if you just want to freehand draw that, that's fine too. That piece of information we can also tell because it's a big card. So, the way that we create... Say again?
A very big card.
Big card.
A big card.
Yes. So, when we create neighborhoods, they are going to have a title, a reputation, and a true name.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the title. What is the name of this neighborhood? What do the citizens call it on a daily basis? Maybe it's named for its local geography, the history of its residents, or the types of businesses that are conducted there. Whatever it is, write it at the top.
This is called Parkside Boulevard.
Parkside Boulevard. Great.
I'm gonna put it in slightly smaller words, so I'm just gonna type it out. Boulevard. Oops. Behold. Parkside Boulevard.
Hey.
Nice.
Cool.
Side Boulevard.
So, now, I would like you to describe the reputation of the neighborhood. For example, we're going for vibe. Is it predominantly residential or commercial? What do the residents think of themselves? What do other neighborhoods think of them? You can invite other people to ask questions, kind of build on each other's answers. You are ultimately in control of this neighborhood, so your decision is final. Once you have kind of like chunks picked out, just write a quick summary near the center of the card. Keep it brief. What we're saying out loud is more important than what we write on the card. We're just trying to jog our memory when we look at it.
All right. I know you said that we might be kind of like zooming around a little bit through time. Is this present day, or are we in the past right now? Or am I?
I am other game DM fiating that the time will begin in the 90s. But while there's a lot of things that can change in 30 years, a lot of aspects of this neighborhood are, we know the end point, so they can basically stay the same if you want them to.
I can work
Other
with
things about the neighborhood can change, though.
Yeah, I think I can work with that. The general vibe of Parkside Boulevard is that it is predominantly residential. It is a little sleepy, and it seems a little run down. Like it had a heyday and it's slightly run down, and this is a place where new immigrants are settling down and putting roots in.
Is it sort of central to the city? Or is it like a suburb that was like expanded off of maybe like a main place of commerce?
I feel like it's central to the city. Like it's a neighborhood like deep within the heart of the city that's been like a little bit neglected. I mean, it's just like it's where immigrants are kind of coming to put roots down, and you kind of start to see like this change in like the sorts of people that are moving. And like this is the beginning of a change in the 90s. There are new people moving in. There are new shops that are gonna start to kind of pop up, and there's like a different flavor that seems to be coming in. And so it's like the sleepy kind of rundown spot is on the cusp of a change. Is kind of what it's about.
Cool.
Yeah.
Would you say this is like a close-knit community, or like, you know, since everyone's new, is it like everyone's still getting to know each other? Are they friendly?
Yeah, I think there is a friendliness and a shared sense of purpose. Like, not everyone is like 100% the same background, but it's just like everyone recognizes that they are all new immigrants and that they are all striving for the same thing, which is to kind of struggle together and survive together so that they can like set deep roots. And I think that kind of bonds the people that live in this neighborhood and like in these like apartment buildings and things like that. Yeah, I think other neighborhoods think of this place as like other. It's like, oh, we don't talk about that part because it's run down and we don't want to go there. And, you know. Yeah.
Any other questions for Leona?
I guess I know this may be a weird question, but like,
No,
is
you're right.
this neighborhood, the Parkside Boulevard neighborhood, is this the kind that's like that throws like block parties, or like, you know, like hosts like sort of like community events to like, you know, sort of like I guess bring up cheer in the neighborhood, just sort of like, hey, let's organize an event, let's have some fun.
Not yet. If we're starting in the 90s, not yet.
Okay.
I think there are like this, like, if I can continue using the metaphor, like the seedlings of that idea, but everyone is so new and disjointed, and like there's a little bit of like almost like a cluttered, clustery feel because everyone's new and disjointed and kind of focusing on their own thing. There are the seeds of that.
Cool. Okay. Write your description.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk a bit about true names. This game loves true names. Everything in the game is going to have a true name. When we're talking about neighborhoods, we want to come up with a true name that has 2 to 3 descriptive sensory images that paint a clear picture of this neighborhood in your mind. You're going to write these at the bottom of the card. It can be tactile details of the space. It can just as easily be metaphorical or symbolic abstractions intended to elicit an idea or personality more than literal representation. Think poetically and play with the senses when coming up with these names. Dizzy, mirror glass windows, cobblestone boulevards, a funicular railway, sidewalk patios, burnt coffee, painted fingers, a forever sunset, hushed secrets, an abandoned dream. Any of these could be facets of a true name. And you're picking 2 to 3 chunks, kind of in that size. A neighborhood's reputation might be what people think of it, but a neighborhood's true name is what makes it unforgettable.
And do I pick that or do we pick that?
You, as for neighborhoods and landmarks, the person creating the card will pick it.
Okay. As we all know, there's a very clear. I mean, I know its true name, and I think y'all know its true name. But that is not as like descriptive. I think what makes it unforgettable, like the magical thing about it is, I keep using this plant metaphor, and I'm gonna fucking run with it. Seedlings of hope.
Okay. Go ahead and write that at the bottom. What else has it got? It's got seedlings of hope. Something else.
I'm gonna go seedlings of hope. There's a sense of metamorphosis. So I'm gonna write metamorphosis. and like that kind of leads to that like burgeoning community feel. What's a good way to describe like new sense and new taste, like a new sensory experience? Like something that was never there before but is now. Like Parkside Boulevard was probably some old white people building, and now it's not. And all of a sudden there is the smell of like spices wafting in the air, and it's new. How would we describe that? I'm not sure.
So, I feel like, maybe like, colorful miasma?
Mmm.
Yeah.
I like that. Colorful miasma in the air?
Yeah.
Colorful miasma in the air. Alright, cool.
Cool. And with that, we have a new neighborhood. Awesome. Let's, because I am in facilitating mode, let's slide down to Michelle.
Okay.
Michelle, do you want to create a landmark, which is a specific card inside a neighborhood, or do you want to create another neighborhood?
You know what? Let's create a new neighborhood.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm feeling pretty boring, so we'll of course it's going to be another farm. Oh, no, I did not mean to do that. I wanted a rectangle. Please don't give me, oh, see the dark.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I can help clean stuff up.
We're gonna be
as we
foiled by
go.
rectangles.
We're going to be foiled by rectangles, it's okay. It's okay. Everything will be fine.
Shapes are hard.
Shapes are hard.
Oh, hey, I have the honor of accidentally doing this also on the wrong. This is the wrong one. It's okay. Anywho, and I think it's maybe affectionately called Main Street.
Yeah! Every city needs a main street.
Alright, let's make this 22-point font. And this is a big. Oh dear. I can definitely handle text. Yes, it is no problem. I do not have many spaces. Alright. Yeah.
Okay, same first question. Oh, you got the title. It's Main Street.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Thank you. Yeah, so Main Street.
Okay, what's the vibe of Main Street? Tell us about it.
Oh, this is a pretty, so this is a large street. It's got several lanes. It used to be smaller, but over time, as the city expanded, it's gotten, they've added 2 lanes to it, maybe dropped a few stores, but it's bustling. This place has seen, it's seen several different businesses come and go.
So it's like predominantly like commercial.
Yeah, it's a predominantly commercial area. It's like maybe like a hangout place. Like you'd see things. You'd see plenty of restaurants. There's probably like lights strung between for various events. It's kind of the kind of place where you'd expect to see a parade come through or a band. There's a decent amount of traffic in there. Like if there's any kind of store or any kind of like recreational spot, like a bowling alley or like a theater, movie theater or an actual theater, banks, those kinds of things, they're all there. Like anything you could possibly need that's like pretty generic, probably you could find it on Main Street.
Okay, cool. What other questions do we have about the vibe of Main Street?
We said it was more of a commercial area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it more built towards like businessy commerce or like arts commerce or like retail commerce?
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah. Is it like big business? Is it big business or is it like buying stuff from shops?
I think this is like almost, you know, I think Main Street, the one that we're calling Main Street here, is the one is the old Main Street. This is the one that had all of the small, the old local small businesses. It's not really like big business. It's like the small business, like you're here for your like daily shopping, not for your alright, here's the company that I go to work at place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was kind of the question I had, so you kind of hit that point. What do other neighborhoods think of this neighborhood?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like that one.
Like I
Yeah,
think,
I love that question.
yeah, because I think in the now, right? Like so in the past, right? I think it was basically a place to like in the 1990s, right, or whatever. Like this is sort of the place to be if you want to hang out. It's sort of the let's have a chill night. It's a Friday weekend. Go out to have a nice dinner date or something. That kind of vibe. But I think like fast forward a couple decades and it's sort of like this is the quaint like historical area vibe is like it's not the in place. It's the hey, this is it's cool and you can do some cool things there, but it's not new shiny anymore.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Make those notes and then start telling us about what its true name is.
Sorry, I am like taking notes in one place. I'm taking notes in two places now.
Uh-oh.
Doom shotgun noise.
Help! Everything will. I'm fine. Okay. So let's see. Here we go. I can definitely type. Oh. Okay, we got it.
We saw your attempt at a square earlier. Are you sure? You sure you got this?
Lower this. No, please, font, small, please, small font. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, okay.
We can probably fix it for you afterwards. It's okay.
Yeah, that's also true.
There we go. I will
fix it in post.
Let me just make this. There we go. And we made it smaller. Cool. It worked. Things work.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. There we go.
Oh, okay, that works too. That works.
Get that big name on there. Also, I'm gonna group everything that we've already written on these cards.
That's probably for the best, actually. What are we thinking about for true name? I'm trying to think of something that like sparkles but isn't quite as bright as it used to be. Like it still shines, but it hasn't.
Winkles.
Has it dulled? Is it a dull?
A dull twinkle.
Yeah, dull twinkle.
A glow.
It's like a dull
fading
twinkle.
light.
Yeah, I feel like a twinkle is like and a glow is like meh. In terms of its intensity, right?
Luster, it's just it still shines, but it doesn't have the. How do I put it?
Has it lost its luster?
Yeah, it
lusterless
shines,
twinkle?
but it's lost its like fresh luster.
A dim glow.
A lusterless twinkle is a wonderful mouthful of syllables.
I like it. We're doing it. I like the idea that it has also a kind of flavor of
Y'all are making
like
these
that
wonderful
taste
things,
of,
and
like,
I'm gonna make something so shitty.
yeah. I just.
Oh
love
no!
Huh?
Go on. It
Oh
has
my-
a taste of comfort food.
Yeah, it's like the kind of place where it's like like a small dessert, like sweet but not over sugary. It's not like a gourmet cupcake. It's like it's like that homemade baked like sugar cookie. It's like homemade baked goods, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
And I kind of also like the vibe that it has. It still buzzes with noise. It's got this yeah, it's but it's not like a hive. But it still gets like a decent amount of like foot traffic. So it's sort of how do I put it?
Bustly.
Yeah, but it's bustly. It's bustly, but not too bustly.
Bustle, no bustle.
Bustle, no buffle.
Buzzing?
I said bustle,
Burbling.
no hustle. Burbling.
Because it's not quite buzzing and it's not quite hustle and bustle. It's just burbling.
Burbling.
Burbling? Babbling brook.
Burbling brook.
Full burbling. It's not suburbling.
A burbling book. Babbling book. Burbling book.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Okay.
Are we okay?
Dang it, Dan.
Okay.
The overlay!
I'm gonna just go with Babbling Brook.
Cool. Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
like a tasting sound.
Perfect. Dan, you're next. We're going around the horn.
Oh, goody. Alright. I think I will make a landmark. Does that mean I have to pick the color of the landmark?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so you're doing a landmark. So yeah, pick the color that you want for a landmark, and I am going to talk about what it looks like to visit a landmark. So landmarks are played within existing neighborhoods. A neighborhood can and often will contain multiple landmarks. You're going to indicate that it's a landmark by putting an L on the card real big and by picking your wonderful color choice. And just like neighborhoods, landmarks should have a common name that people call it in their day-to-day lives. That's the title. An address, which can be a literal address, but it can also be something more poetic. Like you could say, in the heart of the neighborhood, off the beaten path, several stories up. Or it can be like 16538 Parkside Boulevard. And then, in a similar way, the true name. You're thinking about how the landmark exists within the neighborhood for the true name. Does it match it? Does it push against it? What makes it unique? What makes it irreplaceable? What can you touch, smell, or taste? And then when you're done, the card is going to be like overlapping that neighborhood card in some way. For the astute ones in the audience, we're going to do the same thing with residents when we get there. So, Dan, tell us about the landmark that you're building.
All right. Once I can get it to work. All that. And
A nice homey brown.
Also, if y'all have ideas and you want to like start jotting stuff down, just do it away from all the other cards, and then we can move it onto screen when the time comes.
someone took a big L. Don't know how that felt. So anyway, within the Main Street neighborhood, one of the many historical flourishing businesses that people have come to on a Friday night is one particular theater company known as the Garden Theater.
I'm so glad you picked a theater because I was thinking about doing a theater as well.
Oh, well, now
That's
you have
awesome.
all of the time of me puttering around on this to come up with a new idea.
I know.
I'm glad you also this, 'cause
I just, as soon as Michelle said theater, I was like, oh yeah, this place has got to have a theater. We love a vibrant theater community.
Thanks.
Okay, so the Garden Theater, and tell us its address.
The Garden Theater is going to be. Does it have to be like an actual street address?
No, so the address can be the literal like 124 Main Street, whatever, but it could also be something like on the edge of town or visible from everywhere you look. It can be more poetic if you want. It just describes like its relationship to the rest of the space.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's not big enough to be like visible everywhere you look. I'd say it's sort of on the edge. I'd say it's not on the edge, but near the edge of the neighborhood, but not so close to the edge to like still like firmly within the bounds of the neighborhood.
Yeah. So that's... Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then once you've got that written out, you're thinking about the true name. And this is going to be something that you come up with that tells us a little bit about its relationship with the rest of the space.
Okay.
Landmarks are the things that players have like the most control over. So when you make a landmark, it really is like your show. We can always ask questions, of course, but like, yeah.
So I'm gonna say that as a theater company, like it started out when everyone else did, but it has made some attempts to try and modernize itself with the times. They've renovated their space a bit, so it looks a bit more, a bit less old, I'll say, but not necessarily like, chrome or like anything like that, but like, cleaner, like fresher looking, like wooden floors, like a set, like not a second story, but like a split level kind of,
balcony kind of a thing.
Yeah, and like maybe a second theater space that's like a bit smaller for like so they can run like multiple shows in the same building.
Yeah. Awesome.
But it still is trying to hold on to some of the like the spirit of this of like the older city and like some of the more historical charm that the Main Street District has had.
Yeah, so what's like the punchy thing? Is it like nostalgic but modern?
Modern nostalgia. Actually, that just sounds like fucking Vault International. Updated nostalgia.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Oh, that's the wrong. That's
Oops.
absolutely not
That's
what I
very orange. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Sorry. I didn't realize I had all of that selected. My bad, gang.
We're just a bunch of disasters. It's okay.
Mm,
It's okay.
We're
good.
gay and bad at shapes.
No,
Yeah.
we forget to click the draw
Feels
shape button
accurate.
and end up freehanding things.
That's actually a typo on my part. I'm just out of shape. Let's see, what else can I put? Updated nostalgia.
What sort of plays do they host?
It's a mix. Like they do like the famous ones. They've done Shakespeare. They've done musicals, but they also do works by like local playwrights. Like people from Etteridge City, if it's being called that at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
or
it's
if
absolutely
city
still
at this
called
point.
Etteridge City.
Or like they'll have or they'll have like certain playwrights that they have like working relationships with. But yeah, like they do sometimes spotlight local playwrights. But as far as like genres or styles, they host a variety. How would I put that into a punchy 2 to 3 word true name?
The heart of theater.
The heart of the tur, guide me.
I would say global and local.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that the whole of your the things that you want to add?
I don't know. I feel like everyone else had 3, so I should have 1 more.
I'm probably only gonna do 2 for mine, so don't feel like you have to stress about it.
All right.
Make sure you
yeah.
get the other bit on there because you may not have hit enter yet.
Oh yeah.
Hey. Cool. All right. On my turn, I'm gonna make another neighborhood. So this new neighborhood is called The Barrel. The Barrel is I feel like we talked about this place being like an old like industry town at one point, right? And the Barrel is where like stuff was shipped out of. There's like a really old railway that goes through there. It's like a lot of commercial spaces, but they've predominantly closed down and are one of 2 things is happening. Either somebody is buying that space up and converting it into something else, or these like huge warehouse lots are getting knocked down and replaced with skyscrapers. It is, I think the words I want to use, I really like the one from the existing like text about the city, but this is a place that's volatile, and full of empty buildings. Full of empty spaces, and ugly. Those are the big things. What questions do y'all have about the barrel?
Have we touched on what the other neighborhoods think of the barrel yet? Because that's like my favorite.
Oh my god. I think the core word there is everybody feels like it's a necessary evil. Like because it's all these like old warehouses that aren't being used in the way that they were used, 20, 30 years ago. Like it is also where there's like, crime, homelessness, anything that tends to flourish when people's eyes are turned is like starting to happen in the barrel. And so yeah, I think other neighborhoods are kind of like there's like one or two nice things in that area, or like I pick up my friends when they come into town on the train, but I don't want to be there.
Oh god, I have an idea. Can I contribute an idea?
Yeah, please.
Other neighborhoods call it the bottom of the barrel.
The barrel / the bottom? Okay.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, other neighborhoods, like, when they talk about it, because it has, like, fallen from grace, it's, like, the bottom of the barrel. Like, it is the barrel, but it is also, like, the bottom of the barrel right now, because it's just, like, and it's sad. Like, it's an unfortunate thing, but it's just like, shit, man. I don't want to be in the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
I feel like people called it the bottom of the barrel, and I got shortened to just the barrel.
Yeah.
I have a question. Like, what's like? So you said like lots of places are being like torn down, a lot of old buildings. Like, are there parts of it that's like overgrown? Maybe that's been like taken, like you
Totally.
Like, and then also like big warehouse, right? I'm assuming there's lots of junk all over, like glass bottles, everything.
There's the glass bottles, there's like industrial equipment that is like locked up but hasn't been used in 15 years. A lot of these spaces are like bolted shut with like rusted chain, a similarly rusted padlock, or just like cut padlock because, people gonna open up spaces what is closed. There are cool things there too. Like there's artist collectives that have moved into some of these warehouses, like squatting in them. But
I mean, do some of them still have like inventory in them? I'm curious. Like, did they just like lock it up with like just like I don't know, like a mattress warehouse? Where they just have like a ton of mattresses.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few places where the place closed down in a recession, and like just nobody has opened it, or like it's like technically still property of like, I don't know, Unico, but nobody has gone in there in the better part of like a decade. But mostly empty. I'd say like mostly empty, but there's a few things where you'll like go in and there's like, oh shit, there's a bunch of stuff in here.
Little hidden treasures. I like it.
Oh, that's absolutely going to be part of the true name. Hidden treasures.
Hey!
Okay. What font size is that? It's like 20.
I mean,
cool.
I dropped it to you, yeah.
Yeah.
Dropped it in
I
the
just
chat.
need to make all my little adjustments. Okay, so hidden treasures.
Treasures.
Well, at least it's not forgotten.
Lonely. I don't think I spelled lonely. Lonely.
Yep.
Lonely Vistas. Lonely Vistas.
Oh, that's sad.
And
Is it hungry for change? I'm just thinking about like for adjective of hungry because like they want to change it, but they've been leaving it, and now they're starting to.
yeah, I don't. Pave. I think it's more like the smell of asphalt.
Like the
As things are getting paved over, right?
that very chemical smell that like sort of like sticks with you.
Yeah, it's just everywhere here.
That's so like uninviting, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm the weirdo who thinks that it smells good.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it was like the pervasive stickiness of it that made me kind of go, ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
Like I wouldn't want that smell to stick around.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that thing of like the roads are getting repaved instantly. As the closer you are to like the edge where there's skyscrapers, but the further you get, it's like kind of cracked roads and railroad tracks. All right, so we have finished a round at the table, which means that somebody gets to do a thing called holding an event. After we have all wandered the city during the current round, the first player is going to create an event that alters or changes the city in some way. In future rounds, your event should be related to the compass that we set at the beginning of the round, or it can be related, in this case, to a card that was played during the round. Events are a good way to tie up loose ends on questions that arose during a round. However, an event can also be a chance to highlight an aspect of the compass, which is like a word that we all think about as we create things, that was unexplored, or to recontextualize other elements of the city that were discovered during play. An event is always going to be connected to an existing card, neighborhood, landmark, or resident. On your turn, describe the event in a sentence or two, and then choose one card on the table that it mostly relates to. Something has changed within the community. What is it? If it isn't already clear, explain how this event serves as a connecting point between the card you have chosen and the overall theme of the round. Yeah. Once, Leona, you have done that, the rest of us are going to become the voices of the city. And we have a couple of interesting options there.
Yeah. That changes the options of the city in some way. We didn't really set a compass at the beginning of the round, did we?
No.
Okay. Oh god, there's some really good options. On your turn, describe the event in a sense or two. I know you said this, and I'm just processing.
Yeah.
Choose one card on the table that it most closely relates to. Something has changed in the community. I'm torn. Hell.
Okay. Talk to us.
I am torn between, because we have 3 neighborhoods, and I'm kind of torn between all 3 of them. I could see a riot or protest in the Barrel. I could see something happening on Main Street, or I could see Parkside Boulevard having its first block party.
What do you feel most personally connected to there?
Probably Parkside Boulevard.
Then go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
If I may,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just it's September. We're on the edge of the summer and fall change. You know, the air is still kind of warm, but there's just that smell of coldness on the way. And a kind of young 20s woman has a stack of flyers in her, and she goes door to door and she knocks and she slides them under doors, and it says Parkside Boulevard, join the buddy bar, and in brackets it says family. She's like clearly printed them all out at like the local library, and she's just like just doing her best, and she's like had a couple friends who are like encouraging her and cheering her on. I don't know why this came to life, but let's fucking run with me. And she like determinedly hands them out, and those friends have like created shit out of nothing. Like the decorations are completely made of paper, you know, in this event, and she doesn't know if anyone is going to show up. And then people do. The thing that this is most related to, obviously, is Parkside Boulevard. And something has changed within the community. What is it? There's someone trying to build connections amongst all of these closed-in apartments. And is hoping to bring people out from behind closed doors and into the street. And she and her friends have, like, set up the street and like, decorated it, and like there's a couple little food stalls. She's really hoping that community spirit kind of takes over, and that the more people come, the more they will bring, because everyone's got a little something, you know?
Yeah.
That's her aspirational moment.
Okay. So, Leona, go ahead and write up like a quick summary of that event with a nice little title, so that we all know what happened, and a brief idea of what changed. It can just be a couple words. I just want to remember the event. For the rest of us, we're going to be the voices of the city, and we're going to kind of respond to the event.
Should I make it a triangle, or like...
Do whatever you want. Triangle, it's fine. I don't care.
I'll make it a circle, because that's an actual shape.
We're bad with shapes, remember?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, let me make it an actual shape rather than trying to put y'all into like danger.
So, we're going to be taking on the voices of the city, the other three. In doing so, we're not specific residents, but we're kind of like representative of a bunch of perspectives and viewpoints of the community, particularly people who may have been impacted by the event. We're each going to take it in turn to do one of the following. We're either going to ask a question about the origins, implications, or repercussions of the event. It is always a rhetorical question that we let hang in the air.
Spicy.
Or we state an opinion in one or two sentences that some members of the community hold towards the event. Or we show a consequence in a sentence or two of people in the city reacting to the event. A consequence can be about a specific resident, or more abstractly about the community at large. So, Michelle, you're in the unenviable position of being next. So,
well,
tell us.
Yeah, I think the initial response is kind of small. It's that sort of, one or, like I'm assuming there's a couple of blocks, right? So like maybe a few people from each, only like one or two families really from each sort of complex actually like decides to come. But I think as a consequence, they meet people in different apartments, and they get to know each other. And I guess abstractly about the community, you sort of start seeing some families from that normally would never interact meet and chat, get to know each other.
Yeah. So, as you're listening to us talk about all of these voices of the city, Leona, at any point you can look at one of those cards that is affected by the event, and you can change something about it.
Ooh.
And it's any card or cards on the table that may have been changed by the circumstances of the event. And you can kind of write over things. You might change the address of a landmark, a neighborhood's reputation. You might move a resident from one landmark to another. It should always happen at least once. All of these events will change the city, and right now it's in your hands how that happens. So, Dan, you're next. What voice of the city do you want to speak to?
So my options are, I can give an opinion, I can state a consequence, or...
Show a consequence or state an opinion. Question, opinion, consequence are your options.
I think that as an opinion, someone from like adjacent to Parkside Boulevard, or like someone is going to think that like is going to see the block party and think like, I don't really get it, but I'm happy that they're having fun.
Cool. I think I'm going to ask a question. Oh man. How big do you think something like this could get?
Ah!
All right. Leona, you are the last player to take on the voice of the city.
Okay.
In this way, you have the last word on the event, as well as the round's focus. Events are never monolithic, and no single perspective has all the facts. After you take the final voice of the city, you end your event by writing a second perspective on your event. Somewhere else on your event card. The event's other side should complicate it. Add a new point of view that came up during the conversation, or one that was previously unconsidered. The completion of an event in the game does not necessarily mean that the event is over within the fiction of the city. It might still have ongoing consequences. But once we finish the event, the round will be. And we'll take a quick rest.
Okay. I definitely know what the flip side of the event is. I'm trying to figure out what my voice of the city is. So far we've had a kind of like a lukewarm reception to this attempt. Like, some people come out and they make really amazing connections. We have someone from the outside who's like, I don't get what's happening here, but good for them. That's it so far, right?
And the question, how big could something like this get?
And how big could something like this get? Oh god. Which voice am I? Am I a negative voice or am I a positive voice? I think I'm gonna get positive voice because I'm gonna balance out the negative that I'm about to bring afterwards. The positive voice says, this was a great idea, let's do this again. Like, someone made a connection with someone else and was really keen and was like, I volunteer to help. And so now there are more volunteers to make this better next time. And the flip side that I'm gonna write down is like the voice of an elder talking down to the woman who originally created this and said, did you even stop to think about the consequences or the risks? You have endangered this community and our home.
Awesome. Go ahead and put that on your event card. And with that, I think we're going to take another quick break to gather our senses, confer with each other, and we will be back a little bit quicker than we were last time. So, Michelle, take us away for the time being. All right, gang. So we're going to call it there for tonight, but don't worry, if you found what we were doing with, I'm sorry, did you say street magic? Interesting. We will be coming back to that map, both probably during sessions and maybe in between sessions. We'll see. I want to remind you all that we are streaming in support of charity, so if you have not checked out our link to Disability Awareness Month's our Disability Awareness Month's charity link towards Invisible Disability Association, then I encourage you to do so now. But it's time to say goodbye to this delightful and wonderful cast. So let's start in reverse order with Leona.
Oh, that's me. Hi, my name is Leona. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, I think, as the Leona Maple. But Twitch is best place to find me, follow me, and keep up with what on earth it is I do, such as being on streams like this one. I have been your magical girl for today, and have a good night.
All right, Michelle.
Hey, it's me. I'm Michelle. I played your magical cat, Sushi, today. Pronouns he, him. We respect pronouns in this house. Otherwise, I don't find me on the internet. I don't exist there. I exist on Discord and here sometimes, maybe. It's a sometimes existence.
All right, and sending it over to Dan.
Hey, I'm Dan. I played Scott, our guitar friend, our guitar guy who's friends with bartenders. And you can find me on the internet, mostly on Twitter at LandTheDan. 3 words, 9 letters, no spaces. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything to promote really. I mean, I guess I'm on here for other things sometimes, including presumably in 2 weeks when we'll be bringing back another campaign as sequel to the very first campaign we did on this channel, Neon Night City Lights. I still think that Neon Lights and Night City was a better title. But that's beside the point. The Cyberpunk Red campaign, we're continuing the story of our good friend, of our long-lost party member Dion, played by our good friend Joe Hayclub. And that is hopefully going to be starting 2 Mondays from now. And then you can also find me back here in a few weeks for the next episode of By a Shadow Peace, our Warhammer flavored Wrath and Glory mystery epic, I guess. We've had 3 episodes, so I don't know if it's epic yet, but we're working on making it an epic.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, that's your lot.
I'm just thinking really hard about Joe and how he's like Neon Light's cryptid to me. I've been told that I've met him. I have no memory of this. But that's life as Legendary Vermin, who I am. You can find me on the internet as Legendary Vermin on all the places on the internet that matter, which is of course including Twitch, Twitter, Itch, YouTube, Tumblr, more Tumblr now, probably a lot more Tumblr. I get it now. It's fun. You can find the games that I play on, or that I make on Itch. Particularly of note is Nomad of Armor, which is part of a campaign run on this very channel as part of Stardust Ghosts. Wonderful and lucky as a creator to have a bunch of other really smart, brilliant people taking the thing that I made and bringing it to life. Besides that, and besides the games that I make, if you want to see more of my face doing streams, you can do so either here or on Singularity Roleplay. That's it. Of course Tumblr is fun. Come on! You can find me streaming here on shows like With the Will. Later this week, on Thursday, you can catch me for Last Transmission. And there's one more? Is there one more? Oh, I show up regularly for our games of A Blade's Will, which had a very dramatic situation last episode. If you're not caught up, go do that. You can also catch me on Singularity Roleplay, where I am currently in a game that we call Camp Runner's Cross, which I love describing to people as a queer positive breakfast club that is eventually and quickly going to morph into a homophobic Friday the 13th. It's a bunch of gay people getting slashered and having a great time doing it. So come check that out. And then, of course, 1 month from now, be back here for another episode of The World Within You. We're so lucky to have you here. Take your good feelings, put them out in the world, stand up, fight back, and kick some fascist ass. We'll see you next time.